Hello and welcome to this tutorial on C# 4.0 new features. Today we're looking at dynamic support. So what exactly is that? Well, when an object is declared as a dynamic type, there's no type checking on the object until runtime. Dynamic support comes in very useful when your program is having to interact with objects from other programming environments where the data type is unclear. For example, IronPython, JavaScript or COM. The benefits will be demonstrated as we work through this tutorial. So as you can see in front of you, we've got ourselves a C# console application loaded up. And what have we got to start off with? Well, we've got a customer class defined up here. And that's got just a few members to it. We've got three properties: first name, last name, age, constructor, and a method, a single method, display customers, which is simply going to write out first name, last name, and age. So fair enough, basic customer class. Let's move down. What have we got next? We've got an order class. Now that actually has a get customer method which returns a customer to us. Now you probably can notice there that in fact that's actually returning a system.object. We're actually returning an object here rather than actually the customer class itself there. So just make a note of that as we work through this. So to make use of those two classes in the main method, first of all we create a new order object, ord, and then here we're getting to the crucial bit here. We're actually calling the get customer method, but we're assigning it to a dynamic type over here. So as you can actually spot, this is the new type we have in 4.0 dynamic. So cust itself is of type dynamic rather than being a customer. So we'll see exactly what that means as we look at some examples of using our cust object here. So first of all, as expected, if we take a look at the first name, which is a valid property, and our customer object, do a simple assignment here, works as expected. Display customer, well, we saw the display customer above, it does exist, so when we actually make a call to it from our customer object, again, no problems. But as we work this, you see that we've got a slightly more questionable call here, where we've actually got missing method here. Now, missing method doesn't exist there, but you notice that there is no compile error with it. In fact, at this point, no problems are sort of thrown up at this point. So in fact we haven't done full type checking on the members of the object. Now when we actually run the application, it's going to fail because missing method doesn't exist, so we're going to hit some problems there. But at this stage we've shortcut the usual type checking which is done would be done on there. Now that can prove very useful when our C# application is having to interact with other environments which work with less typed object systems to work through that. So let's just go on to look at some further uses of the dynamic type. Now another situation here, we just declare ourselves an int woo. Woo's an int, and as you can see we stuff 10 into woo. And I'll just uncomment this. We then attempt to do a division of woo by 2.5. Now that's going to give us, we're going to get a type mismatch error because the result of that division is not going to be an int. We can't convert an int to a decimal. So in fact in that situation we would generate an error. Now you can work your way around that if we were to actually define foo as dynamic. Now foo is being dynamic, that means when we do a similar division, actually the runtime takes care of the type conversion for us, really. So again, we sort of step around that kind of type conversion error by using a dynamic type. And you can even get away with more dramatic type conversions. So now I'm putting a string into foo, and there's no compile error actually generated on that. So you can see how this all works. I'll just run this, my console application. It will pop up in the console window, and we can just see that things are operating. So actually, first of all, you can see that we've got the missing method problem because the method doesn't exist, so at runtime we have actually hit a problem. I'm going to stop it, put some comments in there, run it again. Now this time we haven't because we've commented it out that we've just simply seen the output from the bit of code we had in that main method where we're actually doing a console.writeLine on foo on there. So just to review all of that, we've been looking at dynamic support in C# 4.0. First of all, we looked at an example of creating a customer class, then an object class that has a getCustomer method that returns an object to us, and then we put it to the test in our main method by actually first of all creating a order object, then calling the getCustomer method on the order object but assigning it to a dynamic type, and that allowed us to refer to members of the customer class which in fact don't exist at this point in time in there. So we then went on to looking at how we could do other types of type conversion using the dynamic type. So simply showed that if we start off with just an integer, divide by 2.5, we'll get an error. However, if we actually assign dynamic and do the division, we don't hit a similar error really. So I hope that gives you some understanding of the dynamic type in C# 4.0. There are more tutorials in this series. My name is David Ringsell. These tutorials are provided by TalkIT. Thank you for your time.